Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to all of you. Today's class will continue with chapter number 18, the perfection of renunciation or Sannyas Yoga, Gyan Sannyas Yoga. And we have covered up to verse number 50, 51. We will take it up today. And before we start, let us have prayers to Shri Radha Govindji and also seek blessings of His Grace Sri Namnish Das Prabhuji, the temple president at ISKCON, Mangaluru. So, yes, Mataji, please go ahead with the prayers.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Om Agnanatimirantasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vishan Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So, in this chapter so far, we have seen Arjuna's first question: what is renunciation? What is the purpose of renunciation? And what is renounced order of life? The 5 doers. Then thereafter, how we proceeded from Sakam Karma to Nishkam Karma, from Nishkam Karma to Gyan Yoga, from Gyan to the stage of Brahman realization, and from that liberation and ultimately devotional service, and thereafter surrender, devotional service, and then surrender to Super Soul, Paramatma, feature of Lord, and thereafter, of course, pure devotional service. And in the end, Krishna leaves Arjuna that now whatever you feel good, do. That means God is so kind, he does not force his opinion on his devotees. He guides, he provides essential knowledge, and then leaves the devotees to act according to their own vivek or discrimination or intelligence. So this we have heard so far. And then we talked about, yesterday we were talking about renunciation, that is the renounced order of life, sannyas. In fact, a sannyasi is a person who has given up all fruits of his actions to Supreme Personality of Godhead, and also who does not possess, as was mentioned earlier in this chapter, possess the concept of being doer himself. So mentality of being doer is given up. The fruits of actions, all actions are given up. So Krishna says this is the first stage of sannyas. And when one proceeds in sannyas, that is in renounced order of life, and it gets perfection of sadhana, then he ceases all kind of activities. All kind of activities are not then, no activity is performed by a sannyasi. So that is the stage which is second stage of sannyas or renounced order, and that is called yoga rudh stage. So after attaining this yoga rudh stage, the individual goes to the second stage, that is surrender to super soul. Thereafter develops the devotional service of bhakti, and then pure devotional service. In such person, intelligence knows that there is no entanglement with the material objects, and he doesn't want any sense gratification, and he has perfect control of mind also. So that is the stage which we call in Shastras as Nash Karma Siddham. Siddhim. He becomes Siddhi in Nash Karma. That means he becomes Siddhi in non-fruitive activities, as well as offering all results to Lord Krishna. Then at this stage, the individual realizes the Brahman platform. And what are the qualification of realizing the Brahman platform? We studied in verse number 50 that Brahman stage is the stage of pure knowledge of absolute truth. That is the Brahman stage. And one who realizes this knows has the God realization of the Brahman feature of Lord only. That is the Brahman effulgence. And this is what impersonalists do. Impersonalists want to merge into that Brahman effulgence. Their knowledge is just limited up to that stage only. But a pure bhakt, pure devotee, he goes beyond it. In fact, a pure person in pure devotion, he has already attained this stage of Brahman stage, or he has already attained this true absolute truth stage. And beyond that, he is proceeding to devotion or pure devotional service. So this is the stage when a pure sannyasi or a yogi attains the perfection of Brahman stage. That is called Brahma Bhut stage or Brahma Bhut platform. So these are the 12 qualities which are mentioned here, that how a person can attain. From verse number 51 to 50, there are 12 qualities have been mentioned. That is controlling the mind with determination, purification of intelligence, giving up sense objects, freedom from attachment and hatred, living in a secluded place, eats little, controls body, mind is the power of speech. We know that mind, body, and speech, they are three karta. Everybody is doing because of their consciousness and through mind. And we know that body does the minimum work. The still higher work is, more quantity of work is done by our speech, and mind is mind is the entity which is doing the maximum activities or work or actions or karan. In the karan sense, we know those five, the adhishthanam, karta, karan, and daivam, and so these are 5 stages which help in execution of work. Then other qualities: freedom from all bad qualities, born of material conception of life, and always in trance, detached. Thus, one achieves supreme peace, and that is the stage of Brahma Bhut stage, or complete peaceful stage, when one realizes the Brahman effulgence stage or Brahman effulgence form of God realization. So analogy of peace is given here, that when the rivers are entering into ocean, they are gurgling, they are making lot of noise. But as they enter into ocean, they become silent. So similarly, a person who is in material entanglement, he is having lot of distractions and lot of desires, everything. But when he attains the stage of Brahman realization, or that is Brahman form of God realization, at that stage everything is quiet and he becomes peaceful. So this is the analogy given. Now we'll proceed today from verse number 54. Yes, Swamprabha Mataji, you may please continue.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Na Shochati Na Kankshati samah sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labhate param. One who is thus transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman. He never laments nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Mataji. Brahma Bhut Prasannatma, one who is established in the Brahman states. He is Prasannatma. The soul is ever joyful and peaceful, such a person. And na sochati na kamshati, neither he laments nor has any kind of desires. Laments for what he has lost, or laments for something which he has not been able to achieve, or any kind of relationship. That is, neither he desires for any kind of fruits, nor he laments for any kind. Samah Sarvesh Bhuta, he is equally disposed of to all living entities. Mad Bhaktim Lavdev, such a person at Brahman stage, he attains pure devotional service unto me. So we can see here that devotional service is a step ladder, arrow, or say elevation or ascending from Sakam Karma to Nishkam Karma to Gyan ultimately. The Gyan refers to the impersonalists, basically, who have reached the stage of this Brahma Bhut Prasannatma, Brahma Bhut stage. So this shloka basically refers to impersonalist. What is their destination? Their destination is Brahman effulgence. So after attaining that Brahman stage of realization of God form, they are established in peace, equanimity, and they are never lamenting for anything. And they have a vision in which all living entities, you can see in this picture, right from aquatic life to birds to animals to trees and human beings, so everybody is present in the heart of these living entities in the form of super soul. And the person sitting in the meditation, he sees not these various physical forms of these living entities, but the super soul which is present in the. So such a person is attaining. So this is the perfection of impersonalist. Now, what about the devotees? The bhakta or devotee has already attained this Brahma Bhut stage, because he is devotee of Lord. He is doing devotional service to Lord. So he has already passed over this stage, which is limited to the impersonalist. So a devotee is doing devotional service to Lord or bhakti, and thereafter advancing to pure devotional service of Lord Krishna. So this basically is Brahma Bhut Prasannatma na Brahma Bhut Prasannatma na Sochati na Kanshati Sama Sarvesh Bhuteshu Mad Bhaktim. So such persons, they attain pure devotional service. We can see that it is a ladder pattern, and now from after attaining this Brahma Bhut stage, one goes to the stage of devotional service. So Brahma Bhut stage, one who is transcendently situated, ever joyful. He is never laments or nor desires anything. He is equally disposed to all living entities, and then he attains from. So this is an intermediate stage so far as devotion or bhakti yoga is concerned. Yes, Mataji, 55.
Hare Krishna. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tattvatah tato mam tattvato jnatva vishate tadanantaram. One who can understand the Supreme Personality as he is only by devotional service, and when one is in full consciousness of the Supreme Lord by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
So the indirect hint of Lord Krishna to Arjuna here is that everybody cannot understand me. Who can understand? The impersonalist, the speculators, the philosophers, the scientists, they cannot understand. Of course, not to talk about atheists, because they do not believe in God at all. So nobody can understand. These people cannot understand. how one can understand Krishna? Just by total surrender, just by rendering total pure devotional service to Krishna, and always thinking of Krishna, never forgetting Krishna. Only such persons can understand. And who are these persons? These are the devotees. So Krishna says that one, he can be understood by only devotional service, and one is in full consciousness of the Supreme Lord by such devotion. Full consciousness has a very significant meaning here. Full consciousness means always thinking of Krishna, and also never forgetting Krishna. That is full Krishna consciousness. So when one can remain in this state of sadhana, or say yoga, then only he can understand Krishna. And Krishna dadami buddhi yogam tam. Krishna says that even after that stage, I give them the knowledge to understand me. So he gives the intelligence to understand himself, because nobody can understand Krishna fully. We know and Krishna cannot understand Radharani, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I am just correlating it with other aspects. Krishna could not understand the mode and bhava of Radharani. So he reincarnated in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to understand in the bhava of Radharani. He came in Krishna as Krishna to understand Radharani only. So when Krishna could not understand Radharani, just imagine how we mortal living entities who are mundane, who are mudha, can understand Krishna. But Krishna has made it so easy for devotees. Devotees can understand Krishna by doing pure devotional service to him. So yes, Mataji, please read this. This is from Purport 55.
Discussion in the purport. Krishna and his plenary portions cannot be understood by mental speculation or by non-devotees. Erudite scholarship or mental speculation or university degrees fail to reveal absolute truth. Only way to know Krishna, pure devotional service. How one's devotional service begins after achieving Brahmabhuta stage? By hearing from the Lord. What is the effect of hearing? Brahmabhuta stage develops. Material contamination decreases. One can understand the Supreme Lord. What is eligibility to enter Lord's abode? One who is fully conversant with the signs of Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
So the same thing has been mentioned here. Now, any additional thing from purport is hearing about Krishna. Now, hearing can take place. We are hearing from Krishna in Bhagavad Gita in this class. So this is one stage, one form of hearing. The other form of hearing is when we hear Krishna's message or Bhagavad Gita message from a bona fide spiritual master who has come in disciplic succession. So Krishna or his representatives are virtually same, because they are they are in pure devotional stage. They are beyond the stage of Brahmabhuti stage. So when we hear about Krishna from Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, there is a beginning of detachment from material entanglement, and there is attachment towards Krishna. And I think in this journey of couple of months, we have seen that how we have gradually moved on from the stage of being a totally mundane person to understand how Krishna has created everything, how Krishna has created all the even demigods, all the living entities, all the universe, planets, everything, material nature, how he has given us liberty of minute independence to our soul, and how he is present in us as a super soul. So gradually, this is how one develops his devotion. From karma to jnana to yoga, Ashtanga yoga, and from Ashtanga yoga to Brahman stage of realization. And after Brahman stage of realization of God, there is surrender to super soul, which Lord is going to talk about now. So after describing this step by step, now one should work for liberation by attaining this Brahma Bhut stage. Now, impersonalists, we know they are working for Sayuj Mukti. They want to merge into this Brahman effulgence. They do not want because they do not possess knowledge that God is Krishna is a person from whose body it is mentioned in Brahma Samhita that this effulgence is radiating out from the transcendental body of Lord Krishna. So, but they do not know this fact. For them, it is the ultimate, the end of their spiritual journey. That is merging into Brahman effulgence. So one has to understand this Krishna science. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. 19 to 40, karma, modes control all activities. 41 to 48, sakama to nishkama karma yoga. 49 to 55, nishkama through liberation, then devotional service. 56 to 60, working in pure devotional service. 61 to 63, more confidential knowledge, surrender to Supersoul. 64 to 66, most confidential knowledge, become a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. 56 to 60, one on the platform of devotion should work under the order of Lord, fully depending on him and being fully conscious of him. One who will thus be free from the control of the modes of material nature. Verse 18.56 to 18.60.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
So the Lord is going to describe or explain how the devotee can attain him in these verses. Yes, Mataji, 56. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, sorry. Sarvakarmanyaphi sada kurvano madvyapashrayah matprasadadavapnoti shashvatam padamavyayam. Though engaged in all kinds of activities, my devotee, under my protection, reaches the eternal and imperishable abode by my grace. Hare Krishna, Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Mataji. So, though engaged in all kinds of activities, that is that we should not give up our prescribed duties. This is the meaning here. We should perform as per our varna and ashrama because that is the goal of human life. That is how one can get perfection in a particular type of varna. Though engaged in all kind of activities, that means karma tyag is not recommended here. Nitya karma is recommended, or kami karma are not recommended. My devotee under my protection, those who perform their prescribed duties as per their varna and ashrama, they get the protection of Lord Krishna. They reach the eternal and perishable Lord of. What are the activities which are to be done in Krishna consciousness? And activities are, you can see Srila Prabhupada guiding the devotees here. So the activities related to Krishna consciousness are activities to be performed as per the direction of Supreme Personality of Godhead, like a faithful servant. So, and not independently. We should not act that we are the doer, so we have a choice to do whatever we like. No, what Krishna has guided us. Secondly, now Krishna is not here, say physically. So who is present? A bona fide spiritual master is present here. So whatever guidance he is providing us in relation to our spiritual journey, we should follow it like a servant. And always we should keep on thinking of Krishna. Always we should act according to what Krishna or our Guru or spiritual master is saying. And what is the outcome of this? Such activities? This is just a pictorial reference of the last verse. I personally protect my devotees from all reactions and lead them directly to my supreme good abode. That means A Krishna, that such a pure devotee who has reached a stage of devotional service above the Brahman platform, he is under protection of Lord. And though they are doing all kind of activities, but they are always under my protection. Now, all kind of activities, sometimes the devotee may slip down to or may perform some kind of abominable activities. But Lord says he is my under protection, and he can still remain the same pure devotee and continue his journey by mending his ways or by following the prescribed duties or doing devotional service. So, what is the nature of quality of service? That is what is mentioned here. What service we can render? There is no time limitation for a pure devotee. He is 24 hours always doing devotional service of Lord in many forms. And we know that how many forms we can do that Navvidhi form of bhakti. Shravanam, Smaranam, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. All these 9 steps can be continuously done in 8 form. We can do all kind of physical activity or material activities, but offering the results to Krishna and thinking of Krishna, that makes our mundane activity pious, and it becomes a worship to Lord, a devotional service to Lord. So then Lord has assured that such a devotee remains under my protection. And how does protection comes? Devotee comes under direction of Supreme Lord or his representative. That means following the dictates of Krishna as given in Gita, or following the directions given by the guidelines given by the spiritual master. Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Conclusion. The perfection of renunciation, devotee's mood of dependence, in all activities, just depend upon me. Work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. Hare Krishna, Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Mataji. So you can see the picture here. Mother Draupadi is there, and Krishna is protecting her because she was a pure devotee. She was a friend also of Krishna. You know, then when a pure devotee renders pure devotional service to Krishna, Krishna becomes his friend. And a friend, not only friend, but a well-wisher friend. Result is that he always thinks, guides, and also protects his pure devotee. This is what happened in the case of Draupadi. You can see here. So then devotee depends for all activities on Krishna, because he is doing all activities in relation to Krishna, or he's dovetailing all his material activities even in relation to Krishna. Then they become purified, and thereby he is rendering devotional service and comes under the protection of Krishna. So this full-time consciousness, there is no time limit. Every moment we have to think of Krishna, that he is our protector. I'm totally dependent on him. That kind of feeling has to be there in the mind of a pure devotee. Yes, anybody else would like to recite now? Please raise your hand. Yes, Richa Jain Mataji, please continue. Thank you, Swamprabha Mataji, for your contribution.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dhanyavad.
Thank you. Yes, Richa Jain Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
58, sorry.
Majjita sarva durgani mat prasadat tarisyasi atha chetvam ahankaran nasarosyasi vinankyasya. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacle of conditional life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost.
Thank you, Mataji. So when one is always thinking of Krishna, never forgetting Krishna, the result is Krishna becomes his intimate friend. And what is the duty of a friend? A real friend, always helps in his friend in getting over all kind of obstacles. This is the role of Krishna here for a pure devotee. What we know in our material life, there are a lot of difficulties and obstacles and distresses coming along. But if we are surrendered to Krishna, Krishna is our friend. He takes care of all these difficulties and removes them. So this conditional life, because conditional life means that we are conditioned, our soul is conditioned, because we are bound to act under three modes of material nature. Naturally, the difficulties and physical problems or material problems will come in our life. But we will not be affected by them because Krishna is our friend. He is our protector. We are under his mercy and we are dependent on him. So, but who does not have this kind of consciousness, who does not have this kind of faith in Krishna, then he suffers, and he suffers materially, physically, and mentally from that. Then lost. Krishna has already mentioned earlier that my devotees never perish. Those who take shelter of my, they never perish. But those who do not take his shelter, they perish. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
If you become conscious of me, work as per 18.57, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. Lord Krishna's mercy. Otherwise, you will be bound, lost in the material world. Discussion in the purport. Krishna consciousness is free from all anxieties, not unduly anxious about executing the duties of his existence. Krishna becomes his friend and looks after his comfort. Krishna conscious person is liberated and free to act because everything is prompted by Krishna from within and confirmed by spiritual master. Otherwise, conditioned soul is always under strict material laws.
Thank you, Mataji. So you can see two pictures here. Bhishma Pitamaha, he got liberation because he had the direct vision of Lord Krishna before him. And he was a pure devotee of Krishna, so he got liberation. And the other side, because he believed in Krishna, he had full faith, and Krishna was his friend, protector, guide, and had the full mercy. And he was dependent, and Vishnu Pitamaha was dependent on Krishna. So this kind of devotional relationship led to liberation. But on the other picture, we can see those who are not do not consider Krishna as supreme personality of Godhead, do not render devotional service, they are lost. Lost means they perish. Perish means that they keep on re-entering into the cycle of birth and death and again suffer the miseries of this ashwashatam dukhadam. This world is temporary, is ashwashat means it is temporary, it is not real, but there is lot of miseries in this world. So one keeps on re-entering into this cycle of birth and death. So if now another dimension of these two verses, the 57, 58, is that one who believes in Krishna or who has full faith in Krishna, Krishna is his friend, and Krishna is guiding. Now, Arjuna is in battlefield and Krishna also is giving sermon to Arjuna in battlefield. This means that he has to follow the instruction of Krishna and do his duty as a Kshatriya to fight in the battlefield and kill the enemy. So in next verse, this will come on. Yes, Mataji. Acting under Krishna or illusion. Now, there is a choice. We act under guidance of Krishna, what he has said in Gita, or what bona fide spiritual master tells us, or we fall under the shadow of Maya and act under illusion. So, yes, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Acting under Krishna or illusion. Arjuna is Kshatriya and his duty is to fight for dharma. Even if he avoids to fight, the modes will force him to fight. Discussion in the purport. What is the example of acting according to the nature? Arjuna as Kshatriya has natural duty to fight, while refusal to fight was under false ego, because he was fearing that by killing his relatives, he would incur sinful reactions. What is the forgetfulness of the conditioned soul? Forgets the relationship with Supreme Personality of Godhead and considers himself as the master of his actions. Conclusion. unhesitatingly execute the order of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that will keep one safe under all circumstances. If you do
So,
not act
yeah,
to,
yes,
if
please.
you do, yes, Prabhuji, if you do not act according to my direction and not fight, then you will be falsely directed by your nature and you will have to be engaged in warfare. Sorry, Prabhuji.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Thank you, Mataji. I'm sorry. I interrupted. So the choice is ours to act under instructions, Vedic scriptures, to act under instructions of Krishna, to act under instructions of the spiritual master, or to act independently, whimsically on our own. Like that is on own means that according to our three modes of material nature. So what should we do? A devotee has to take shelter of Krishna and act according to what spiritual master of Krishna is saying. And that is how one can get the protection, mercy, and guidance of Krishna, or his spiritual representative in the form of a spiritual master. But if he does not act, then what will happen? The three modes of material will, or the moha and ahankar, they will take over the living entity, the intelligence of living entity. And the person will be forced to act according to his three modes of material nature. Now, Krishna has very clearly mentioned here that you are a Kshatriya, and the duty of Kshatriya, we have just gone through this thing. The duty of the Brahmana has 9 prescribed duties of the nature, Kshatriya has 7, and the Vaishya has 3, and Shudra has 1. So one of the 7 duty of a Kshatriya is to fight and show heroism, to show courage and kill the enemy. That is one of the duty of, and rule over, to protect the poor or the weak persons. So this is the role of, if you do not, so Krishna has indicated that if you do not follow my advice, then you will be forced to act because you are a Kshatriya. You will be forced to act according to your mode of material nature and your varna, and that is you fight. So Krishna's, so the choice is given here. So what is the indication here? That we must follow the dictates of Krishna rather than using our intellect and acting according to our mode of nature. If we act according to our material mode of nature, we will incur into some kind of reaction, and then there is no salvation, we are no liberation. We shall keep on entering into this cycle of birth and death. So execute the orders of Supreme Personality God, that will keep one safe and under all circumstances. Under all circumstances, that means those 5 fierce reasons Arjuna has given, that I will not fight, I can't fight. So Krishna will take care of all those aspects, which though already he has explained in chapter number 2. Yes, Mataji. Now, what happens if we do not follow my orders and act under illusion? Yes, Mataji. Richa Jain Mataji.
Under Krishna or illusion, if you do not follow my orders, you will be compelled to follow orders of lower nature. Results: anyone who voluntarily engages himself under the direction of the Supreme Lord becomes glorious. And anyone who refuses to act so, he gets compelled to act by the modes.
Thank you, Mataji. So you can see here, first picture, Krishna, Arjuna is in the state of fighting as per directions of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And otherwise, we are acting under the dictates of, like puppets in the hands of 3 modes of material nature. So now this section now is a different thing. Now Krishna is giving more confidential knowledge. We have seen that from Brahma-bhuti stage, that is there are 3 stages of God realization: the realization of Brahman effulgence, then the realization of super soul or the Paramatma feature of God, and ultimately pure bhakta knows that Krishna is the Bhagwan feature of Lord. He is a person, has got name, form, he has got pastimes, he has got certain attributes or qualities. So now Krishna is giving the knowledge how to elevate from Brahma-bhuti stage to the Paramatma feature of God realization. This is 61 to 63. More confidential knowledge is given. This is on the left-hand side, printed in red. Surrender to super soul. So more confidential knowledge, surrender to super soul. This 61 to 63, more confidential knowledge than the knowledge that one is a split soul is knowledge, and that one should surrender to super soul. Now, in these verses, in fact, this section rather, Krishna has a doubt that perhaps Arjuna has already understood everything, but still in the heart of his hearts, he may have desire of not fighting. So this Krishna is giving now another step in the spiritual journey higher up, that you should rise above the level of Brahmabhuti stage and realize and surrender to super soul. And who is super soul? Super soul is Krishna himself. Yes, Mataji, 61.
Yes, Prabhuji. Ishvara sarvbhutanam hrideshe arjuna tisthati brahmyan sarvabhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy.
Thank you, Mataji. Now, at this stage, Krishna is realizing that perhaps Arjuna has a false concept that he has understood everything and he knows everything now. So Krishna is, he is Upadrashta. He knows the super soul of Krishna or Arjuna, what he is thinking. Probably he is still under false concept of thinking that he has understood everything and he knows everything. Because Krishna is not able to, Arjuna is still not able to give that kind of concept. So Lord Krishna teaches him in different ways now. 61 to 63, Krishna is telling now, Supreme Personality is situated in everybody. Now he is reminding that I am present in your heart as super soul and directing not only your, but the heart of all activities or wanderings or activities of all living entities. They are seated as on a machine. Now, super soul is present in the heart of all living entities. And people are seated on this super soul like a machine. So whatever super soul says, the machine acts. So that is this machine is made of the material body. The material body is referred to as this machine. So Krishna is again giving more confidential knowledge. This is Guhitam, Guhitam knowledge that you are dependent on soul, super soul rather. So Krishna is giving this knowledge, and this picture you can see the king of Puri is roaming the path for Jagannath Rath Yatra, and yes, so yes, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Mataji.
Ishvara sarvbhutanam hrideshe arjuna tishtati brahmyan sarvabhutani yantrarudhani mayaya. O sign of Bharata, surrender unto him utterly. By his grace, you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and eternal abode.
Thank you, Mataji. Now, super soul. Now, difference between the soul and super soul is that individual soul is a minute speck of Supreme Personality of Godhead or part parcel, and super soul is eternal. Both are eternal. This is individual and that is universal or transcendental. Both are transcendental also, but that is part of the Lord himself, presence of Lord. As the material body perishes, everything is forgotten. But the super soul remembers each and every thing of that particular living entity of many previous lives, because and the super soul also not only knows the present but the past, not only knows the past but the present and future also of that living entity, and it becomes the witness to all activities that person living entity is doing. So it is not only the knower of present, past and future, but also controls and guides, or rather is a witness to all activities, and by his order only the by order of the super soul only, the individual soul gets a new form of life based on its desires. So, O ISKCON of Bharat, surrender unto him. So Lord is reminding that super soul is me, myself, present in you, and I know the present, past, and future of all everything that you have done. So just surrender unto me, and by your surrender, you will gain my grace and mercy, and you will get transcendental peace. Transcendental peace, because probably you might be thinking that I know everything and I can now have a choice to do anything. So that is not there. Krishna says you will get transcendental peace by surrendering unto me, and that is into the super soul, and then you can reach my eternal abode. Yes, Mataji. 63.
Yes, Prabhuji. Iti te gyan makyatam guhyattaram maya vimrashyeta dasheshena yathechesi tatha kuru. Thus I have explained to you the most confidential of all knowledge. Deliberate on this fully and then do what you wish to do.
Thank you, Mataji. So nice now. You can see Lord is so merciful. He's not forcing his directions or his guidance on the devotee. And Arjuna is very pure devotee and a friend of Krishna also. And he is ready to listen to the advice of Krishna also. Yat he chassi tatha kuru. Whatever you think now, you do. Or whatever you wish to do now, I have given the complete knowledge, right from the karma to jnana to yoga, and also to devotional service, to rising to the Brahman plate or Brahma Bhuta stages, and also to pure devotional service, and how this body is perishable, and soul and eternal soul is not perishable. They are transcendental and they are eternal in nature. But because of binding of three modes of material nature, they become contaminated, soul becomes contaminated, and one is forced to suffer. So now it is your choice. I have given you a complete transcendental knowledge. It is for you to decide now what you want to do. And this is the most confidential knowledge, the more Guhitam knowledge. In fact, you will remember this transcendental knowledge was given earlier also by Krishna, and it was Ati Uttam and Idam Uttamam Raj Vidya Raj Guhyam. So that knowledge was given and it is being repeated here. Now I have given you the entire path from Sakam Karma Yoga to surrender to Supreme Personality, surrender to Super Soul. Now it is your choice what you want to do. So this is how the minute independence that Lord has given to living entity is reflected in this verse. So this is section H, summary of yoga ladder. We have already passed through this stage, these stages in this earlier part of this chapter. This from Sakam Karma Yoga to Nishkam Karma Yoga, then from Nishkam Karma Yoga to Yoga, through Jnana, and from Jnana to Brahman stage of realization of God, then ultimately surrender to the Super Soul. That is from Karma to Jnana to Bhakti Yoga. So this part is the most confidential knowledge, 66. We will try to cover up this section very quickly because the time left is only 6 minutes. Anyway, whatever slokas we can do. Anybody else would like to recite now or read now? Please raise your Please raise your hand. Anyone else? Yes, Riya Mataji, thank you.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna,
please. Yeah, please. Thank you, Mataji. Please continue. 64.
Krishna will reveal the supreme instruction. What is the most confidential knowledge? Guhya, confidential knowledge of Brahman. Guhyatara, more confidential knowledge of Super Soul. Guhyatma, most confidential, just surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Thank you, Mataji.
Kanya.
So this is Guhya, Guhyatara, and Guhyatam. Guhya means confidential, more confidential. This is relative degree. And then there's a superlative degree is Guhetam, the most confidential knowledge. And what the confidential knowledge was realization of Brahman form of God form. And Guhetar was knowledge of super soul. And the most important or the most confidential aspect or the highest aspect of this knowledge is realization of Bhagwan feature of God. And we know, remember the analogy of sun god, sun globe, and the sunshine. So that this is what Lord Krishna is going to reveal in these verses. Yes, Mataji, 65.
Okay. Man mana bhava man mad bhakto mad yaji mama namaskuru mama evashyasi satyam te prati jane priyo si me. Always think of me and become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is the essence of entire Bhagavad Gita. In fact, this verse, everybody, I will request you to please memorize this verse. Man mana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam evashashi satyam te prati jane priyo asi me. Always think of me and become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. I promise you. This is Krishna's assurance. That what we are supposed to do as a devotee, Arjuna is pure devotee. So he is very dear friend also. We are not pure devotees. We are still in a very, very elementary stage of being a Kanishtha. We have heard about Krishna. We are trying to act according to the directions of a spiritual master, what he is saying, or what he has taught us. And we are trying to, in fact, go through those teachings again and again. Yet, man mana bhavavat to always think of me. We are not able to think of Krishna all the time. And become my devotee. We are still trying to have the mentality of having the doership, that I am the doer. I have done this thing. Krishna has done this thing. We do not still sometimes we forget it. Worship me. We are not worshipping round the clock for Krishna. We are not constantly thinking of Krishna, and we are not paying respects or obeisances to Krishna all the time. Thus you will come. But if we do that, Krishna assures that you will come to me without fail. That is his guarantee. And I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Krishna, Arjuna, it was a surrendered soul. Souls completely surrendered to Krishna. Now, mana means concentration of mind of Krishna. But I will take up each word. These are very, very significant, most important words of. In fact, this has been repeated twice in this Bhagavad Gita. Mana means always concentration, full concentration of mind on Krishna. That means that is the most confidential knowledge. And what we are to concentrate our mind on, that name, form, the attributes, the qualities or pastime of Krishna, because always the form cannot remain. So we have to think of Krishna's Leela. We have to think of Krishna's potencies, energies all the time. We have to think of his loving pastimes with Radharani. And what form is most lovable for devotees? This Shyam Sundar form, with flute in his hand, garland around his neck, and of course always smiling, and peacock feather in his hair. So all these things, and of course that yellow patka or bluish hair of bluish complexion. Bhava mad bhakto, we become Krishna's devotee. And how can we become Krishna's devotees? We have to know about Krishna. We have to think of Krishna. We have to know about Krishna, his various, and the knowing will start from, again, we are Sakam Karmis, from Sakam Karm to Nishkam to Gyan to Yoga. That is how we can become Bhakta. Madhyaji means worship Krishna. How to worship Krishna? Offering prasadam, preparing flowers for him, offering prayers to him, and garlands, sweets, ornaments, whatever we think, lamp, then the essence, agarbatti we can offer. So this is how Madhyaji. And Mam Namaskuru, we have to bow down before Lord Krishna's Vigraha with in Ashtanga Namaskar we can do, and pay respect to Krishna. We can place our body on the ground when we go to the temple and put all Ashtanga, that means all 8 parts of the body must touch the ground, that is Ashtanga. And ladies can do Panchang, that is not recommended. For Matajis, it is Panchanga Namaskar is recommended. Now, Mam Eva Vashes, then doing by any of these things or 4 activities, one can attain Krishna. That is certain, which he has guaranteed here. And how it is possible for mind to not get contaminated? When we have all these activities in that rest, there is no time for our heart or soul to get contaminated. So this we will the remaining part we'll take up on Monday. And please memorize this verse. This must keep on reverberating in our mind all the times of day and night. Man mana bhagavad bhattu madhya jiva namaskaru mam avishyashi satyam te prati jane priyo asipi. So such people are dear to Krishna. And Arjuna was dear to Krishna. Thank you very much. We shall end here because the other batch will be joining. Any quick question or doubts I can explain, or any suggestion, correction, or observation, please. I have posted the attendance link just now again. Please fill in the attendance before you leave. So we'll end today's session. If there is any comment from anyone, Pankaj Deve Prabhu, Srila Mataji, Riya Jain, Richa Mataji. Any addition or suggestion? Thank you very much. So we'll close. Prabha Mataji. Yes, Mataji, please continue. Go ahead.
Just saying, beautiful explanation, Prabhuji. Always enlightening, always takes my heart. It is so beautiful. Thank you so much for your association and
Lord
giving
is
us
kind
guidance.
to our spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada and Namnist. Prabhuji, please thank them. I'm just a means. Whatever little I know, I try to explain in simple.
Highly grateful.
Thank you. Hare Krishna Mataji. Okay, we'll close now. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhuva evcha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavabhyo namo namah. Ananti Kod Vaishnav Prant ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagvat Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna and Danvat Pranam to all the devotees for your fine association this evening. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Dhanyavad.
Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Very nice class today.
Thank
Very
you.
nice.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much. It is
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Krishna's
Dhanyavad
mercy.
Pranam.
Krishna's
Hare.
mercy only, Mataji. I'm nothing before. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna for your assistance. Please fill the attendance before you leave. Thank you.